I hope that the next 12 hours or whatever are just magnificent for you. And that's really what this channel is about. You know, I've talked about it being manifesting, but let's really change our thoughts about that even. That all we're doing is learning how to be really good at designing and living lives we love, lives that make us so happy, lives that we feel so fulfilled, because that's what we're meant to do here. And I was thinking today about the words programming versus training. You know, we've talked a lot about, or heard a lot about, how we have been programmed, conditioned to believe the things that we believe and think the way we think and live the way we live. And although that is true, for me, if I change it just a little bit and I think about, instead of being programmed, I was trained a certain way, because training feels easier to me than thinking I have to reprogram something. That feels deep. It just feels like it's got a deeper root to it. And so it would be harder to do. And I'm all about reframing things so that they're, first of all, they are easier to do, but in my mind, I also believe they're easier to do, because I can make a whole list of things that I've trained myself to do. I've trained myself to make YouTube videos. I've trained myself to have the courage to make YouTube videos, because it does take some courage. So really be thinking throughout your day is, what are, you know, we've talked about inner talk. What are you telling yourself, and how can you just change it a little bit? Catch yourself in the moment that you're telling yourself something that seems hard or impossible even, and look at how can you tell yourself something different. And one of the things that's really, really helpful to do is make a list of all the things that you've done that you've been successful doing throughout your life. You can start something, you know, that seems silly, like I learned to walk, I learned to talk, I learned to run, I learned to feed myself, I learned to go to school, I learned how to get dressed. All of those things, and then go on with them. For one thing, the more that you put on your list, the more it's going to jog your mind to think of other things. But also you begin to see this big list of how you've been so successful. Because so many people tell themselves, and I used to tell myself, that I wasn't successful and I didn't know how to be successful, when all along I was always being successful. If you live day to day, you're successful. You're successful in life. So choose your words and choose your thoughts and be on your own team. Cheer yourself on. You know, one of the affirmations that I tell myself is that my inner talk is my biggest fan, and that it's always encouraging me and cheering me on. I'll say it's my number one fan. It's always championing me. Now, has that been my experience? Not so much. However, I'm retraining that, because it's not like that part of me has a mind of its own. It's all coming from me. Now, I might pick up random thoughts just because they're thoughts that people are thinking about how hard the world is or whatever. But I don't concern myself with that. I keep bringing myself back to, what is it that I want to believe, and how can I help myself believe it? What can I use to convince me that life is beautiful, that life is easy, that life is kind? Because once I convince myself of that, that's what I'm going to see. It may not change like that, But it changes, and you'll begin to see it because you're thinking life is beautiful, life is kind. And all of a sudden, you're going to see more beautiful things about life. You're going to find that you're kinder to yourself. You're going to find that people are kinder to you because whatever you put your attention on, you're going to see more of. That's simply the way life works. So be your number one fan, be your best friend, encourage yourself, and do the things that you can do step by step by step to help retrain the way you have thought, the way you have believed, the way you have lived. It's a skill and you can learn it. Make a list of all the skills that you've learned. All the things that you can do that you probably don't even think about. I mean, most of us have smartphones. When we first got these phones, we didn't know a lot about how they work. I still don't know. I do know a lot about how my phone works, but it does so many things that I'm sure I don't know about. But you see, if I, instead of, oh, well, I don't know a lot of things about my phone, instead I say, I know a lot of things about my phone. And that's encouraging, and that tells me, look at what you've done. Look at what you've already done. And you can certainly do more. So, there's another video that I hope just encourages you. That's what I want this channel to be. I want it to be a place of education, yes. But I also want it to be a place where you know you can come listen to something and just feel better, just feel uplifted. I want it to be a place of calming, and that's why I did that video where I just say calm, and it's got the ocean waves in the background. I'm doing this because you're meant to have a beautiful life, and you can, even if it's just little bit by little bit every day. I love you so much already. Thank you so much for listening. Be well, and bye for now.